Welcome back to Popcorn and Beers, where some use tomatoes and others use thumbs. We use the stuff that gets you drunk. And I got to thank these two for covering for me last week. I had a bit of an anniversary thing. So thank you, gentlemen. There were some great movies on that list. Some classics. But let's start, as always, in the same place, since we're running short, because Jordan's big timing us because he's got the fastest growing show on our network right now. And
that's right.
He's got to go have a tea time. And then Josh and I got to skip our way down the digital road to a different place in time. Jordan, what were you watching this week?
It's creepy.
All right. So I started out with a little history mockumentary on Netflix called Kunk on Earth. That is Kunk, C-U-N-K.
Oh, Kunk.
To be Kunk, yes.
I just started watching that too.
This is great. It's very pleasant. English actress Diane Morgan plays Philomena Kunk, the host of a very millennial short mockumentary series about human history. She speaks to very annoyed and puzzled experts. They're fantastic. You can see just the sinking in their face when they realize how they're kind of being messed with, and it's hilarious. It like through purposefully witty and dim-witted humor, you can actually learn a thing or two from this show, especially about the song "Pump Up the Jam" by Technotronic, heavily featured for some reason. Yeah, you'll understand when you see it. A couple funny lines from it. The Greeks invented a kind of theater for stupid people. They called it sport. And philosophy is basically thinking about thinking, which sounds like a waste of time because it is.
That's fair. That is fair. Thinking about thinking does appear to be a waste of time.
She's really good at saying like kind of profound things, but she's so stupid that it's just hilarious.
Yeah. I give it a pop and a beer.
Pop and a beer.
Yeah,
pop and beer.
Yeah, pop beer.
All right. They said the name of the show. They said the name of the show in the show. So pop and beer. All right. What are we watching next?
I watched a movie called Breaking on Showtime, based on a true story starring John Boyega, who played Finn in the latest Star Wars trilogy.
Yeah. Boyega.
And the late Michael K. Williams, who is Omar from The Wire, is in it.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Yeah.
Also, Chalky White from Boardwalk Empire.
Oh yeah.
Never watched Boardwalk Empire.
Yeah. Andy was also in Lovecraft Country as the father.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Dang.
He plays a disabled veteran suffering from PTSD who decides to politely hold up a bank to expose how he's been wronged by the VA. And some of the writing and screenplay is a little ridiculous. Like it's very serious and very sad, but it kind of, some of these things really take you out of it. Like he's making his demands to the 911 operator, and the captions cracked me up because it says keys clacking. She is repeating back to him, and she's going. He's like, okay, so I need this, and I need you to do this for me, and she's like, she's typing. She's going to kill everybody, okay? Like she's repeating his to-go order.
Upbeat 80s music.
Yeah. And like they got the SWAT rolling around outside, and there's a active bomb threat going on, and yet somehow an employee like coming in from lunch or something can just walk right up to the front doors and just bang on the door and startle everybody while this guy's got a bomb. It's like, And then the last thing, there's like this super unnecessary scene where like a sniper he's trying to get his shot, he's trying to line him up, and for some reason they zoom in on him hacking out some shrubs that are kind of blocking his view. But he doesn't do a good job at it. Like it just shows like a close up of a knife hacking these shrubs a couple times, and just nothing cuts down. And then it cuts away, cuts back, and they're all just cleared out and gone. It's like
That reminds me of a movie I watched called like The Last American Crime on Netflix, or The Last Great American Crime. And he has a whole dialogue where he's like, "I'm numb, bro. I'm numb. I can't feel anything." And then he shoots somebody, goes, "God, that feels amazing." And I'm like, how did that dialogue make sense when you guys are going through?
The movie's good exposure to a problem in this country. Like I said, horrible script, horrible screenwriting, and a little bit of overacting in a couple scenes. I give it a popcorn.
A popcorn for breaking. And last but not least,
I watched Paranormal Activity: Next of Kin on Paramount Plus.
Spooky.
It's exactly what you'd expect from the 7th entry in the Paranormal Activity franchise. The cheesy jump scares, predictable plot, bad acting. By the way, has the found footage genre died?
Sure hope so.
I don't know.
Was it ever
cyclical.
good? Was it ever alive?
I don't know. Like the
it
first
definitely
Paranormal
was
Activity, I
alive.
think, was a phenomenon. Yeah.
Well, would you see Blair Witch was the first kind of found footage?
Yeah, sort of like that.
I don't know that was the first, was it?
It was known for being the first one to jump it off the way it is now. Like that, I'm not sure if it's been done before, but Blair Witch is the one that's noted for like fake real,
gotcha,
kind of blah 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 found footage.
Well, I mean, it peaked with the best found footage movie is As Above, So Below. I don't know if you've seen that.
Oh, okay, yeah, with the Paris with the catacombs.
Yeah,
don't think you?
No, I
Like
disagree. No, I disagree. Though the best one was the J.J. Abrams flick, Cloverfield. Was the best found footage.
Hell
the first one.
No.
The first
Oh
one was
The
the best.
first one was really
The next
good.
two-
I liked it.
Actually, part 2 would, I loved it for the time. Jordan, you're talking about, you were like maybe 13 when it came out and you had to be cool, okay?
I was definitely like 7th grade and went with a bunch of kids. And, yeah.
But no, like we were, in the Air Force when that came out. It was an event, Josh. I think we all went to the theater together to go see that movie.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. But I see now that's most found
doesn't
footage
hold up,
gives
Jordan,
off
right.
the appearance of like maybe this is real kind of thing, or a lot of them do. Blair Witch certainly did, right? I mean, everyone knows it's a movie, but like they give off the idea that it is real. Cloverfield, that took that genre and turned it into a Spielbergian, super monster thing. So that's like on the side, like right on the line of found footage, I would say Cloverfield specifically.
You know what, though? I do think the second Cloverfield was a better movie than I thought. The more I'm thinking about it, I thought John Goodman killed it.
Oh, you missed that show. Never got the chance to see it.
Yeah, Cloverfield. It's not called Cloverfield. It's like a totally different name.
Cloverfield Lane or something? Like an address?
Cloverfield Lane, yeah.
Yeah, and you wouldn't have known because it appears to be a totally different film until the very, very end of the film. Spoiler alert, but it's like 10 years old at this point.
Family Guy ruined John Goodman for me.
Oh, yeah.
It's like Thanksgiving at John Goodman's house. Can have some when I'm finished.
And then we don't have to talk about the part 3 of Cloverfield because that didn't happen. Sorry, George. Go ahead. More on Paranormal Activity. Sidetrack for an argument, but you gave us the fuel.
Yeah, no. Take flight with it. That was. I had nothing else for that movie. It was really bad.
Doesn't even get a popcorn.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't even.
No
give
popcorn. All right.
Yeah, they took a lot of liberty. They took a lot of liberty with the Amish on that one because they're like it's not like they're gonna see it. So
yeah, I got you. It's not like they're gonna see it. Josh, why don't you go for us with your 2?
Oh, sure. Not much going on this week. I just saw Paper Tigers on Nortflax. It's a pretty cool movie, kung fu movie, but like the demographic is really small for it.
Yeah.
Like it's for like former athletes who are washed up, and then like let's go teach these kids how to do it. So it's like if you're 30 to 34-year-old male, this is your movie. Here you go. Or maybe midlife crisis.
It's your time now.
It's these kung fu guys who they were the baddest in town, maybe the nation, and then now they're older and their seafood died and they have to go reclaim the title or whatever.
Yeah.
I give it a popcorn. Like, it was kind of like, it had some good parts, good fight scenes. I know I like to talk about those a lot. The only real notable thing about it, though, was Master Ken is in it. I'm not sure if you know that YouTube personality, Master Ken.
Yeah.
With the Ken Jutsu. You gotta check it out, Brian. I'm sure you've seen the video. Yeah. It's a white guy in a red gi, I think, and he teaches kung fu, but it's always just nut shots. Just different nut shots, different techniques, clapping them. You know,
like Bobby Hill in King of the Hill, where he learns self defense, but he goes to the women's self defense class. That's my purse. I don't know you, and he kicks him in the balls every time.
But he's a really good YouTube personality. He's been on for quite a while. So he was in this movie, and he got to be himself, basically, in this movie.
Okay.
Pretty good. So it was that 5-minute scene was worth watching the whole movie, I guess. If you're into Master Ken, I'm a fan. That's about it. The other movie I saw was Spider-Man's Far From Homes.
Okay. That's widely regarded as one of the better Marvel films.
I think it's pretty dang good. Wouldn't put it up there in the top 5. But
of Marvel films, we're not doing it today. We're running short on time. I think we need to put together our top 5 of Marvel films.
Yeah, we could talk about Marvels, especially the Ant-Man time frame. We could just do Marvel time, whatever.
Yeah.
But I thought it was pretty good. But it got me thinking that maybe Tom Hardy's not my favorite Peter. I think Andrew Garfield might be my favorite Peter Parker. Which I didn't really think about that before. Tom Holland of
Tom Holland.
Thomas.
My favorite Peter either.
He could do it.
I think you should be fighting him, right? Coming up soon, you should be fighting him.
Yeah, that's canceled, I think. But maybe not. Who knows? Anyway, it was a good movie. Not really much to say about it. It was front to back, great movie. Popcorn, 2 beers. I mean, it's still a good movie. It's just not my top 5 MCU.
Oh, Jake Gyllenhaal, man. He played the hell out of that role.
Yeah, JK. Yeah, he really did.
We're going to look back and realize Jake Gyllenhaal had a ton of range that we never gave him credit for. Like Nightcrawler. Yeah, like Nightcrawler.
That's one of my potential future classics, man. That's one of my favorite movies.
Okay.
I love that movie.
The source code?
I love the quote. What is it? Like, if you want to be great, you have to go out and make yourself great or something like that. Like, the quote's not that, but it's something to that extent. So we got a popcorn and 2 beers. But yeah, he plays the Marine brother from That's My Boy with Adam Sandler and Andy Samberg, remember?
Oh. That's not Jake Gyllenhaal.
You didn't see that one?
That's not Jake Gyllenhaal.
Who is
that?
It?
That's the guy from
This
Is
Is Casey Affleck. Is it Casey Affleck? No, you're right.
No, it's the guy from
They
This
all
Is
look
Us.
the same. You're right. It's Milo Benjamin.
Yeah.
However you pronounce his last name.
That's right.
You are correct. You're right. But Jake has a character that's similar to that one, and so does Casey Affleck. They've all played similar characters, and now I can't think of Jake Gyllenhaal's character that's just like that. But now I've got the Casey Affleck character that's just like that from Grown Ups Part 2.
I've never seen either of the Grown Ups movies. That's crazy.
Oh, really?
I really it's not I have anything against them, but I just haven't.
It's okay. Adam Sandler's not for everyone. Adam Sandler's not for everyone. I love
Adam Sandler, though. That's the thing. I love Adam Sandler.
If you watch it knowing that, this is just a guy with his friends making a fun movie, then you can enjoy the movie. Yeah. Don't look for a cinematic experience.
Not a fan of.
You know what, though?
Not a fan of Kevin James, I think. I think that's my holdup, because I'm really not a fan. I liked King of Queens as, a kid when it would come on TV. I really did. But
he was good.
But I'm just not really... I'm not really a fan of Kevin James. He's kind of a
movie suck.
A pass him. Yeah.
I think a couple of future drunk classics just floated into my mind, but one I'm realizing now that a couple of my favorite Adam Sandler movies, Happy Madison production movies, don't have Adam Sandler in them. I actually contrary to a lot of other people, I thought The Wrong Missy was hilarious. That movie made me laugh.
Hilarious.
That movie made me laugh so hard. So many one-liners and scenes. I was just like, "Oh my god, this is ridiculous."
That's
and then
great
Grandma's
movie.
Boy, which also doesn't have Adam Sandler in it. Oh, come on. You can get past the dog, but nobody sleeps with a lion, bro.
It's a little campy. It's a little, it's a little,
it's got some edge to it. It's some rhyme.
Yeah.
We're still good. I'm gonna Betty White appreciation it for a drunk classic around her death anniversary. But for me, I did. I watched. So I had a long flight. I had a long 2 weeks. So I apologize. At my anniversary, I had a class in Turkey I had to teach, and on the flight to Turkey, I was editing a couple of these because in Turkey you can't post stuff. So I had to get it edited and then get it sent off before I got to the city. So that way it was like ready to post.
What do you teach a class of turkeys how to gobble gobble?
Yes, exactly. I would be like, and if you're good enough, come November, you might be the one.
Yeah.
So now all I've got in my head is like the image of a turkey playing Neo. Like that's the only, the only thing that went through my brain. Yeah, right. Like and dodging turkey bullets and axes. Like, so on the flight back, I got to watch a couple films. I watched "I Love My Dad," which is a flick about a father and a son that are estranged, and it does a good job. So you don't have to go through all the awkward stuff of doing it throughout the opening credits, where you it's talking throughout the opening credits, so you're understanding why they're estranged before we get into the actual movie. I thought that was and basically, it comes to the suggestion that if you can't get in touch with your son, maybe you become someone that your son's willing to talk to. And I'm not going to tell you like what led him to being desperate because that'll spoil the whole movie to talk to his son again. But he creates an account for a woman that he meets, and he catfishes his own son. Craziness ensues, and he ends up having to take a road trip with his son, who still thinks he's texting this woman, and a lot of funny things happen on that road trip with his son. But one of my funniest things that I think happened, and I don't think this is a spoiler alert, but just in case, fast forward 15 seconds. There is a scene where they come very close to having phone sex with each other, and Patton Oswalt, who is fantastic, he comes up and he's like, "I gotta go to the bathroom now. I gotta go. It's an emergency. You gotta let me in the bathroom," because he realizes what his son is doing in the bathroom during their conversation, and you're just like, ugh. It is a really good love story with a new twist. It is based on a true story. So it's actually based on true events. I gave it a popcorn and 2 beers. I did say it's super awkward, fair warning. But sometimes awkward movies are just awkward enough to suck us in and make us feel the feelings that those people are feeling. So
the fact that it's based on a true story means that like the dad had to come out and give some of these details. And I'm telling you, if I did this, you couldn't pry those details out of me at Guantanamo Bay.
So what's funny, Jordan, is at the very beginning of the movie, the events that occurred in this film are all based on true events. My dad asked me, my father begged me not to release this. I did it anyway.
Oh, okay.
So he did do exactly what you said you would do. He apparently begged his son to not release this story.
I'd be like, we would be estranged again all over.
I mean, you gotta laugh at it though. You gotta laugh at it, and you'll see why in the movie. Like he went to great lengths for great reasons to get in touch with his son again. The other movie I saw is an animated film called The Bad Guys. I will say Sam Rockwell is so like even as a voice, Rockwell is fantastic. He just is like it's hard. I don't know. He's just probably my favorite actor.
He's got so much inflection in everything he does. Every sentence, every movement, he's really, really good.
I will say, going back to, I wanted to make sure I referred to my notes. The way that they do the imagination of each character, like when they're texting each other and when they're online with each other, I really dug the way the director shot that. How they're imagining or picturing the people they're talking to and doing it. That was a really great job by them. Outside of Sam Rockwell, when it comes to bad guys being just super great as the animated wolf, the movie was fine. It was what you get from most animated films now. it's not up there with one of the best animated films I've ever seen, but it was fine. I gave it a popcorn and a beer. Not quite the popcorn and 2 beers that I Love My Dad got, but it was a good way to like wash off the awkward from I Love My Dad.
Oh,
cartoon, cartoon, some laughs. It worked out for me, and I think we're ready for our drunk classic. What do you guys think?
The classic.
All right, so I don't mean to start with you again, Jordan, but it was your week for your drunk classic, so why don't you kick us off?
I picked The Adjustment Bureau.
Okay.
Starring Matt Damon. It's what did you guys end up having to rent it?
Yes.
Huh.
Yeah, or pirate it or something. I don't know, but yeah. So I owned the DVD of it, so I watched that. If you look at the last 10 years, if the Adjustment Bureau was a real thing, they've really gone to shit. They've really gone to shit. Or their plan really sucks.
Or maybe remember the end of the movie now. Maybe they just let free will get a little too far.
Oh, there you go.
Because remember, he gives them back free will at the end. Maybe they didn't let it go a little far.
World War One.
The Dark Ages.
Yeah. So, because like I said, I had the DVD. So,
yeah.
Just side note from the movie, the DVD, the previews before the movie really like aged this movie for me. So there's one of Paul, which was a great movie with Seth Rogen as the alien.
Yeah.
Love that movie. And then the rest of it gets worse, progressively gets worse. Blue Crush 2, which just looks fantastic. I don't know how I've never seen that. Oh man, it looks incredible. Piece of masterful cinema right there. The Bring It On Broadway production.
Oh,
that's a thing.
Jane Eyre, is that how you say it? Jane Eyre.
Who cares?
Wow.
And Scarface remastered on Blu-ray.
Oh my god.
Remastered.
Double re.
Yeah. Just a couple things I want to point out about the movie. It says it doesn't really explain really too much about their powers, or like Josh said in our private little group chat, they make up their own rules and they kind of just play with those rules and they really see how much they can get away with on this one.
Yeah.
Like inexplicably their only weakness is water. And apparently you're not supposed to feed them after midnight.
And it's not even a weakness. It's like, we just can't see you.
Yeah. They have these powers and these sci-fi instruments to like erase people's minds, but they still use a chloroform napkin to like knock them out. Like
it's very like live action theater. Like, we don't really have a ray gun, so we're going to use this cloth. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Magical theater magic.
I mean, I feel like, but even then, if they're these magical beings, he should have just like touched his temple, right?
Yeah.
Like that would have been cooler than the chloroform rag.
Yeah.
Touch the side of his head, put him out.
Listen, it's an aesthetic, okay? It's an aesthetic.
when Matt Damon really starts to piss them off, and they have to bring in the big gun to finish it off.
The hammer?
There's that scene. They're like, you know what they call him, right? And I was like, don't say the Undertaker. Don't say the Undertaker. Don't say the... And he goes all Ghost of Christmas Past on him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very Dickens. I didn't even think about that until you said it, but very Dickens.
And my last thing is, if there's something, the most New York thing ever is his phone rings, and then you hear someone in the back of the bus like, nice ring, asshole.
I didn't hear that. It was fantastic. So what did you rate it, Jordan?
I gave it a popcorn and 2.
A pop and 2. Okay.
Same.
You gave it more. Well, hold on, Josh. Gee whiz. I did not give it a popcorn and 2 beers. I gave it a pop and 1 beer. I thought the last half hour was so corny. I was like, this is the most cornball last half. It was like, you could have just cut out the last half hour and had him just do the Anthony Mackie, Matt Damon scene, and the cast was phenomenal, right? You got Emily Blunt, Pedro Pascal is in it. Terrence Stamp is in it. And then, of course, Matt Damon. But I was just like, the last half hour was... I think he's one of the henchmen. One of the guys in the group. But it's so cornball. The last half hour, like, just rewatch that last half hour, and I defy you to tell me it's not corny. It's from the moment he leaves her, like to the 3 year later mark. I was like, this is so corny. It's just some people have called us angels.
Yeah.
Like what? Yeah. Who? If no one's allowed to see you, who's called you an angel? Yeah. What? What are you talking? And our hats are our hats hold all the power. Yeah, you got to put on your fedora. If you're not wearing a fedora, you don't have
little hat.
What are you talking about with the fedora? That's the best we could come up with. Is the hat houses the power?
If I was one of them, I'd be like, "Can I have one of those beer hats with the straws?"
Oh. The other part that made me laugh is she's not able to track him down. Yet he's this very famous U.S. senator, and she has no way to know where he is or just show up. Like, he's always on the news, always doing interviews, but she's like, "You disappeared for 3 years." Woman, he was on TV the whole time. What do you mean you could have just... he didn't disappear.
Emily Blunt doesn't chase. She gets chased, all right?
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
I'm not playing that.
I think it fed into conspiracy theories that there are string pullers and the Men in Black exist and Illuminati control everything.
Sure. Yeah.
And I was like, and it was a very God complex movie, and you never see who it is, so you don't offend anybody with who the God is. Like, it can't be a black God, can't be a white God, can't be a female God, can't be a gay God, can't offend anybody. So we do the whole, everyone's seen him in one form or another. He appears as you need him to appear, or they appear as you need him to appear.
It's Alanis Morissette. We all know that. It's Alanis Morissette.
I like to picture him as like the leader of a rock band with an all angel back band, and I'm just in the front row, hammer drunk.
Myself, I like the baby Jesus best. So I gave it a pop and 1 beer. Josh, go ahead. I already know you gave it popcorn and 2 beers.
I can see your point, though. Yeah, I'm always for shaving stuff that's unnecessary. But, it's okay. I don't really like that either. Like, it's cooler when you just, like, don't... If you're not going to show it, then don't show it, all right? Like, I don't want to talk about God in this movie. There's no need to. Like, why don't you just leave the mystery? Do a Tolkien move. It's like, don't talk about all this mystery that's just, like, begging for an answer. Just leave it alone.
It's probably Jay-Z.
It makes it spookier. It's Jay-Z, yeah. Poppin' 2, maybe Poppin' 1 in that regard, but probably Poppin' 2. I like the special effects and just the acting. Sharp as a knife. I mean, not much to say about it otherwise. I saw it late, so I didn't see it when it came out. I saw it maybe a couple of years later, maybe 5 years later, and it felt slightly dated in that sense. I don't know exactly how to put it, but I think the noir element they add to it helps keep it timely in a sense, you know what I mean? Because they are doing the napkins and the stupid fedoras, and they're all dressed like 1940s feds, I guess.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that element is maybe just a way of keeping it from aging out, so they're not all wearing the popular sweaters of the day.
Anyone with a hat is a suspect, and that guy just walks in the bathroom, he just punches, lays him out. And it's like, what if he wasn't even one of those guys? What if he was just getting married?
But it was the ladies' restroom in his defense. Like,
okay.
But the fedora, it could have been a lost 50-year-old man, maybe. Who knows?
Yeah.
So, Josh, let's just roll you right into You People then. What did you think of You People?
You People. Oh, I forgot to grab my notes because it is a good movie. I thought it was a good movie.
Owl butter on top.
Yeah, the butter on top. It's You People. And, sometimes I have trouble with a movie where awkward is the joke. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Or like everything going wrong for the main character incessantly. That sort of thing kind of grates on me. It just gives me a little bit of anxiety. Not a fan. But sometimes you can pull it off. And they did it in this. I think they did it in this. It's like
Okay.
you people, Eddie Murphy and Jonah Hill, right? Everybody's in this movie.
Okay.
I give it a
There is everybody.
Lauren London as the co-lead, the fiance. I forgot all about her. She's bae. Everyone knows that now. Eddie Murphy, not really his return, but maybe a little more mainstream than his Dolomite movie, which was great. You guys seen Dolomite?
It was amazing. It was amazing.
Yeah. But it was Eddie being cool. He wasn't like being the one slinging jokes. He was just the guy with the timing and the straight man. And he said some clever things here and there that made you chuckle, but like him being a serious role was pretty cool. It's good to see him. And he was pretty much cool almost all the time. You forget sometimes that Eddie Murphy can be really cool. He's not just a goofy. He's really cool. Beverly Hills Cop?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Dang. He just plays it cool. A lot of the racial humor and stuff, it kind of dragged on a little bit. But right when I thought, like, okay, this is a little heavy, they switched kind of roles and made it a different sort of movie about the redemption arc and all that. And I thought it was just a solid movie. I liked it. Some parts were a little hard to take. Maybe not like hard to take, but like, oh, this is not quite funny. But mostly, the movie was incredible. I thought the movie was incredible. They did a good job pointing stuff out.
Okay.
And being
came out. I thought it was god awful. I thought it was so bad. It was one of the first movies where I started doing chores during the movie because I was like, this movie is terrible. Jonah Hill looks like he's 55 and not aging well.
Yeah.
He looks like a.
I forgot about that part. Yeah. Poor guy. He looks like popcorn.
Yeah.
And I hate to make fun of. I hate to make fun of someone's appearance. I truly do.
Yeah.
But he looks
Especially
like a guy
Jonah.
that's been on the. He looks like he's. Like, in order to build a podcast empire that makes you as much as being a financial trader in Los Angeles, it's we've been doing this for 6-7 months to build our audience, and with just the two of them, like when you need like an expert editor, you need someone that's great on social media to do all that stuff all the time, and in this they make it seem so easy. It's really hard to do what we do. Just a look at what Josh and I have to go through behind the scenes, right? Luckily, we're close, and we've already been through our little tiff as young friends, so we're able to deal with all this stuff. But they make it seem like, oh, it's so easy. I would say the only moment where I actually laughed out loud was when they get on the plane, and he goes, Mo, you're his boy, right? And he goes, I'm a lady. I got titties. Like, that was the part that made me laugh out loud. And then the guy from Dave, the guy that plays the producer in Dave, like the TV show Dave on Hulu.
Yeah.
He leans forward and Eddie Murphy goes, you didn't see her titties? Like, that made me laugh out loud. Like, that was the funniest part. Everything else was just like, you're just going for a joke, and these jokes feel like they're 5 years too late. It's 2023. These feel like they would have been really funny and relevant jokes in 2023. And I'm not saying it's not still relevant, and I'm not saying the points they're making aren't still valid. What I'm saying is they're not that funny anymore because we've been talking about them for a half decade.
That's
for
a good
5
point.
whole years. We've been talking about all of these things. And then lastly, my last point about why I only gave it a popcorn. Jonah Hill trying to show us that he's a great basketball player, dribbling the ball like this was one of the craziest things that I laughed out loud, and I wasn't supposed to. Okay? Because he's dribbling the ball with his 5 fingers, like, totally separated and, like, laying up and dunking. And what is Jonah Hill, all of 5'8"? Like, get out. I'm sorry. It was hard. It was rough. It was the awkward moments. It felt like they were trying to make them awkward, so I gave it a popcorn. So I apologize. No, I don't. You know what, Josh? We're allowed to have different opinions. And that was fine.
I see your point, too. Yeah.
White men can't jump, but also white men can't dribble either.
Yeah, the dribbling was so bad. All right, Jordan, go ahead.
So Sam J, who plays, did you see her titties? That person, Jonah Hill's buddy, is one of my favorite kind of rising comics. She's hilarious.
She was good.
She's got a special on Netflix, so check her out. She's really funny. And then Travis Bennett, who's a.k.a. Taco from Odd Future. If you're a big Odd Future fan, he's really getting into a lot of acting roles like Dave.
Yeah.
It's great to see him out there. Eddie Murphy and Julia Louis Dreyfus.
Yeah,
Kill it.
Julia Louise Dreyfus.
Yeah, they carry a lot of the movie.
Yeah.
Really kill it on that one. The
David Duchovny.
soundtrack.
David Duchovny.
Yeah.
I forgot. You know what?
soundtrack.
He was pretty funny. When he's always like trying to bring it back to Exhibit. That was kind of funny.
Yeah.
Thanks to the Z.
Exhibit had dreads.
Yeah, he had that show Pimp My Ride. He's just, such a good guy. Such a good guy.
Okay, I take it back. That he was funny. David Duchovny.
Yeah, and Omar Epps had good parts. I mean, there's good parts throughout the movie.
All right.
The soundtrack was excellent in the movie.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. One of my favorite parts is when he's at, what is it, Yom Kippur, the thing afterward where he's kind of mingling with everyone and people keep saying really awkward things to him.
Yeah.
And the old man's like, what, you don't like getting the P word? And he's like, hearing the P word come out of your mouth makes me question whether I like it or not.
Okay.
I love that whole part. And then he's talking about how the dentist, he's like, he kept asking me about my private parts, and I'm pretty sure they're like, yeah, he's got a case going against him.
Yeah.
But we're just gonna let the courts decide that. That's great. So my big criticism with it is that there wasn't really any real chemistry between Jonah Hill and Lauren London.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It was just very unbelievable that they would be, and it's not like looks or anything like that, anything shallow, but just they genuinely in their interactions didn't really seem like they were in love.
Right.
And it wasn't like just like a long, like it seemed like they had been together for 10 years in the movie. Like they seemed very like, not in the like honeymoon stage of the relationship that you'd imagine in this like whirlwind romance,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And my other favorite part is when he's like, if you say I haven't seen Juice one more time, I will leave your ass.
So what do you rate it? Did I miss that part?
I give it a popcorn and a beer.
Popcorn beer.
Okay, so we go all the way up. Popcorn and a beer, popcorn and 2 beers. Like we just climbed the staircase. Well, I think this was a fun episode. I think it's always good to have a little bit of diversity when it comes to the opinions. So for our viewers, just so you know, if you want to keep up with the show, our drunk classic for next week will be Rambo First Blood, which is available to you on HBO. 1982 Rambo First Blood is what we will be watching for our drunk classic. Yeah, there you go. I just thought it'd be fun to bring it back. I'm a fan of cheese action, and I was like, you know what? It's probably one of the better action films.
I own it on Blu-ray, so I'm going to give you the previews on that one, too.
There you go. There we go. So we'll do that one. And our that is our drunk classic. Our butter on top will be Knock at the Cabin. Knock at the Cabin. M. Night Shyamalan's makeup movie from Old. So,
but I'm old.
For Josh, for Jordan, this has been Popcorn and Beers. And we'll see you at the movies. Bring your beer.
Bing bong!
Mm-hmm.